My name is Sherilyn Edmondson. Today is May 1st, 2025. In this video, I would like to discuss what is interpersonal communication, my goals and strategy, implementation, my communicational barriers, and also just a brief talk about my goal and my theme in life of who I am and what I represent. What is communication? Interpersonal communication. I feel that it is an exchanging of feelings between two or more people, whether verbal or non-verbal. In interpersonal communication, it builds trust. It helps resolve conflicts, and it helps two or more people share their feelings about who they really are. In my behavior blend, my disc was S and C. And as I was reflecting on those blends, I was just thinking, wow, this really has given me an idea of what people see that I didn't see, whether courteous and polite and enjoy others' company, patient, adaptable, dependable, humble, peaceful, and shy. One of the barriers that I have problems with is, I guess, really speaking up. I don't like conflict, that's me. But just listening to people, have an open ear, connecting with people is some things that I'm really working on. And being in counseling and or the human service field, that's one of the things that I myself, I have to be open to constructive criticism, listening to things that probably is hurtful. Everybody's not going to relate to me, but if I have an ear to listen, I will learn. Every client is not for everybody, but I'm willing to learn and have an open mind to whatever that other person is saying. One of my friends said, wait a minute, you always saying what you say? And I repeat myself, and I'm like, she said, wait a minute, if you listen, I'll tell you the whole story. And I started to think and ponder about what she was saying. I was interrupting her as she was getting her thought process out. So my recommendations for myself is stop, look, listen, have an open mind and an open concept to what the person is saying. That's one of my barriers, and I'm working on that. One of the goals that I want is to be able to sit, look, listen to what the person is saying, not just being prejudgmental before they even say anything. Being in this process, even up to right now, I have learned to quiet my temperament, actually listening to that person, seeing where they're coming from. That is my goal in my strategy, where I want to be able to be an effective communicator. Being a counselor who hears the person inner thoughts, their feelings, their hurt, their pain. I want to be a help to the person and not a hindrance. How am I going to implement that? By reevaluating myself, by looking deep within myself of who I am. I'm that person who can help by just being a listening device, by not giving criticism, but being an encourager, having empathy, having gentleness, having a soft-spoken voice. That's who I am. I want to build the communication of trust in any setting that I'm in, being honest, and also confidentiality. Confidentiality is such a key part in this field that we're in. One of the key things that I would love to implement is the TLC. How to listen better. How to practice reflective listening. Peterson 2022 was phenomenal. A great tool that all of us can add in our practice. He had taught me to listen and repeat open-end questions. And that's the key thing now. Listen and then ask questions. That's the key thing that I would love to implement and to share with others. My life quote is what I live by is in Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication. With thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. That's who we are, and that's what we should all live by. When we're helping people or sharing whatever we need to share with others, that's one of the standards that we all can live by. And also having realistic goals. In one of my peer review, I was reading by K.A. Schooliner, counseling about cancer and how we should have empathy when we're telling that she was telling people about when she had they would have cancer or whatever, and she highlighted these things in her review about communicating uncertain and complex results. These things, our clients will be coming to us and telling us about these things. How are we going to react? How are we going to handle when they tell us things like this? In closing, it's very important to communicate and have interpersonal communication. Every relationship needs communication. Every relationship needs to foster hearing, TLC. We need to foster that. We need to carry that. And we need to have critical thinking.